Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today for you I have an 8v8 on Rosetta. This was pointed out to me by a user called Halu in Discord, so thank you for that. And in this game we see a bunch of high tier players. We've got Pro Randy in the top right hand corner. We see Lostdeadman here in the left corner, Raghna in the bottom right. But don't let that mistake you, because Zzz is also a 57 OS rank in 8v8s, so that is very high, higher than Andy actually as well. Rob is very high ranked as well, so it should be a very good game. So let's look at the teams. On the left side we have Raghna, who has started Cortex with bots, Deltars behind him, who is arm bots. Cristo, I'm going to call him. Cristo in orange, who is arm vehicles. We see DaCat is walking forward to this middle mechs, who is arm. I'll get back to that in a minute. Behind DaCat space is Firmament, who is starting with air and has gone Cortex. Just north of DaCat's starting area, we have Celt in pink, who is arm vehicles. Lostdeadman, arm vehicles again, and FrogSkull. Yep, FrogSkull, who is arm and bots in the very north side. And opposite FrogSkull, we have our Andy, the legend, who is in green on the right team as core bots. Just behind him, we have Z in blue, who is arm vehicles. Below, Raging Kittens, arm vehicles again. Riseheaven opposite DaCat here in purple, or purpley pink at least, in Cortex bots. In the air position we have Rao, that is currently bots as Cortex. We see Red Panda here in arm vehicles. Yep, nertc the south side in arm vehicles, and Azure in Cortex vehicles. Now, one thing to note very quickly is that on this map, this middle mechs point here produces 10 metal a second, so it's very important to hold those locations, which we can see why both of these players has walked forward and left their starting position completely empty. What this does mean, though, is it does open up a massive gap between the sides of these hills where there are no units, and we just see Cristo taking advantage of that, getting some very early harass damage here on Red Panda, already taken out one metal extractor, getting a second. Is he going to get a third? Get to third. Can you get a fourth? Definitely going to get the fourth, and that's all of Red Panda's metal extractors gone. Raghna doing a great job at taking some of the aggro there from Red Panda, meaning that that raid can do enough damage on Red Panda. The grunts are not going to get much more than that though, as they are kind of a bit exposed right now. We see nertc doing a great job at taking a solid position in the middle here, whereas Raghna has yet to leave his base. Great early raid there by Cristo. Chisato, that's probably it. Chisato. If I've produced your name wrong, I'm terribly sorry. Please correct me in the comments below. Raghna doing some good early harass here in the middle. Bots, good choice. These vehicles aren't going to really be able to follow. Though there is a lot of blitzes there, and they will wipe up those few last remaining grunts. But we see another good scout harass here from Celt. Bunch of metal extractors just left in the open with no defense. Engineer goes boom as... oh, the engineer's no, still alive. But 3 metal extractors are gone. That scout will not unfortunately be able to get anything else, but our Andy there losing 3 metal extractors. Not very good. So far the lines have been drawing quite well. We already see some Janices out on the field from Chisato. Very nice push here from Lostdeadman. A combined force of blitzes and scouts. We see some D-guns coming out from Chisato. And the blitzes will not last for very long. The Janice is about to get another volley. Yep. That Janus shot unfortunately misses. Because of how high metal this is, we can see it instantly going into blitzes with only like 4 minutes gone. Raghna a bit late to get into the middle here. And we see bombers coming out from the air player, Firmament. And their light blue has only just got some fighters up, but I don't think they're going to react quick enough. nertc hasn't pinged for help. Only just pinned now. Bombers have done a decent job at getting some damage on the eco. Get another bomb off before they go down. Unfortunately, not going to actually kill anything there. And we see the left side, although in a very strong position, still kind of on the defensive side here, as nertc is pushed very far forward. And you can kind of argue that this is the defensive line right now. Saying that, Chisato and DaCat are in a very strong position in the middle here. Riseheaven is a bit isolated. Red Panda not really able to do much at the moment, losing those metal extractors at the beginning, putting him very far behind. And these units here of nertc just sat getting free damage, and that's kind of bad by nertc here, not paying attention, just giving away 4 blitzes there for nothing. Meanwhile, so much going on. Riseheaven has no energy to degun as his units are, his commander's getting surrounded. 50% health. These pawns shouldn't be enough to kill them, but he does only have... Yeah, now that's going to get mopped up. But still, that's a lot of damage to his commander there for no real reason. I don't quite know why he just was willing to give so much damage up there. And nertc now having to fall back. He's got nothing to defend these artilleries with, because he's just lost all of his blitzes. And we see Rose Commander being transported to the south here to help nertc, maybe. There's a lot of fighters. Don't quite know what the plan is. Maybe going for a suicide comm onto Raghna. Or... no. We have a Tech 2 going up by Deltars. And Raghna has just alerted that air is incoming. And meanwhile at the top for here, very quickly looking, we see Randy pushing back FrogSkull. FrogSkull's half health here. There's a lot of grunts. FrogSkull and Lostdeadman kind of struggling to hold that. Meanwhile at the bottom here we see Rao's commander moving in. Raghna hasn't pinned it. There is not enough fighters there to deal with that. And the commander has been dropped right on the front line, behind the enemy line here. It's going for a suicide and has degunned the factory, the vehicle factory. There's a lot of laser towers there, though. They will make short work of Ro if it doesn't move. And unfortunately, Raghna did remove his bot lab from the beginning, so he has no actual factory anymore. But I don't quite know where he plans on going after this, because he's just going to move up here and kill the Geo and then die. And LT will not go up in time. Geo goes up, kills the 2 engineers. He actually does do a good job and manages to get round in time, but the build power that Raghna has in his base is going to be enough to stop Ro really making too much more of a dent. He does really need to get a factory up and running as soon as possible, but nertc's taken this opportunity here to push into Raghna. Raghna's not in a good position here. Losing his front line, he has no units, he still hasn't built a factory. He's really hoping that Delta's building some units here can help push out. And quickly looking at the top here, we just saw a commander go pop. I think that was... yep, that was Randy. And we also just briefly catch Ro's commander there go as well. So that's 2 commanders for the right-hand side going up in smoke. 3 commanders pushing on Cristo, whatever the name is, in the middle here. Cristio about to go down as well. 20% health, 16% health. If his commander dies surrounded by his units, he's going to be in trouble. 5%. Get behind that hill. Blitz is coming in. He desperately needs something there to tank some shots. Janice is going out. He's commander at 5% health. His commander may get out of there in time. He's just standing there, building mexes. What are you doing? Oof, you are a very lucky man. So with 300 health left, Chisato survives just. Raghna's front line has been resecured by Deltars. So that is very well played from the back liner there, helping out Raghna in his time of need. Meanwhile, on the north side here, Arandi gets his reclaim from his commander and is already at Tech 2, and we see the Sheldons coming out, forcing FrogSkull to be pushed back. Lostdeadman here needs to do something to help. We do miss a commander going up. That is 3 dead commanders on the right side for 1 on the left. Not going well for the right team so far, but they are pushed the furthest forward. The left team, the red team, is on the defensive at the moment. Will they be able to pull this back? It's hard to say at this point. At the end of the day, all that matters is if you've killed the commanders. And they are doing better at that so far. The top lane really needs some help though. They have no tier 2 units coming out. Well, we see some Mausers from Lostdeadman. FrogSkull doesn't really know what to do here. He's trying to send his units in, but they're all just going to get obliterated because they can't get close enough to these Sheldons. And he does, just kind of throws away some of his units here. When you're transitioning to Tech 2, it's probably not a good idea to try and push forwards, because if he loses these units, he can't get any back. And meanwhile, in the middle, we see a good push here from Azure. That gets cleaned up by DaCat and Christo. Meanwhile, on the south side, we see these Raider bots coming in here from Nerk. Great micro there from Deltars, missing the D-gun entirely. And nertc getting pushed back even further. And we see some hounds coming out from Deltars as well. Azure, now one of the furthest forward commanders, in a bit of a tough spot here, has no units to defend him. And the units are miles away. 1.6k of metal reclaim to be had here though. And Azure is not paying attention. And is only just starting to move his forces back. Meanwhile, DaCat still on Tech 1. Needs to be pushing out units consistently. But can't do much right now. Just trying to hold on. In terms of fighter screens, I would say that Firmament is doing a lot better job. And as predicted there, we see Azure's commander get caught out and go up in smoke. And he has no way to secure that now. There's no engineers nearby. Riseheaven having to come down to try and get that reclaim. But I think we're about to see nertc's commander get caught out here as a wave of Tech 2 and Tech 1 from Raghna and Deltars moves in on nertc. And although this Tech 2 is getting mopped up quite quickly, Deltar's losing all of his assault bots and then having to rush back with his hounds. Hounds without any sort of vision are not very good. As you can see, they can't really see much here. And so he's having to push them really close to the stouts, which you don't want. Although nertc's comp is going to die here. Definitely. Moves it behind the wall defense there, so he should just have kept walking back here with his commander. Yeah, spot lane desperately needs help. Green trying to assist by holding part of the middle. Unfortunately, Red Panda never really managed to come back from that initial harass at the beginning, and because of that has not really had too much of an impact in the game, unfortunately. But nertc's forces are now just going to obliterate it. Red Panda asking for Tech 2 Twitcher and Tier 2, but only giving 92 metal. There we go. And needless to say, the swarm of Raghna's grunts here that are coming forward, I think, are going to be able to take out whatever's left of nertc, who is unfortunately still on Tech 1. Azure only just managing to get Tech 2 up, but it's going to be a bit too late. And there we go. nertc's commander has gone kaput. And the wave of grunts is going to do substantial damage now to the back line as they're going to get through. EMP bombers coming in from blue to try and get some slowdown on this force. Does a good job at grabbing a bunch of these grunts. But we just missed the cat's comm going up in smoke in the middle. So many comms going boom. But the fighters going to try and deal with that, but it's going to be a fighter battle here. Is it really worth sacrificing all your fighters for this raid here? Blue's bombers coming in now as well. Meanwhile, Raging Kittens doing a great job from the north team here, north side, pushing in quite deeply into the forces of Lostdeadman and FrogSkull. The pink player, who is Celt, not really able to do much to assist here, but all of nertc's base and units completely gone. nertc now out of the game entirely. So I would say that those forces to the south did their job, and that just leaves Azure on the south side. Meanwhile, FrogSkull in a very tough spot here. Very dangerous advanced geothermal going up just out the range of these Hounds and Sheldons. FrogSkull looks like he may just be giving up here, trying to sacrifice his commander to take out as many of these as possible. Yeah, we see the self-destruct, but it's nowhere near the range, and gets a single Hound for the comm self-destruct. Not good, not good at all. Meanwhile, Lostdeadman is getting bombarded right outside of Celt's base. Lostdeadman desperately trying to get some pit bulls up and running to try and help defend. And it's not looking good, as FrogSkull's base looks like it's about to go up in smoke, with Lostdeadman probably not being too far behind. So interestingly enough, for the left side, they've captured the bottom part of the map, well, at least disabled the bottom, and in the north side they have done the same. So yeah, we see this interesting kind of matchup at the moment. Deltars putting more into economy, going in an experimental gantry with 2 advanced fusion generators. Chisato in a bit of a tough spot here. Tech 2 pushing him, artillery pushing him. His comm is in a bit of a dangerous spot, and decides he's just going to start reclaiming. Not a good idea. Attack missile actually been built in the middle of the map. We'll see if that actually gets used. And here we see some banishers with grunts fielding for them in front. Banishers do a lot of damage, except he did just kind of take out half of his own grunts with 1 rocket there. Meanwhile, Chisato in the middle, in trouble. Blue team's units push it into his base, and DaCat on the north side in big trouble. And Chisato goes up in smoke. This is not looking good for the left team. They are still technically ahead on commanders by 1, but with the top falling and now just north of Raghna's base falling, this is not looking good at all. But we do see some Razorbacks out from the Deltars here. We'll see if they can stop this push into Chisato's base. EMP bombers at the south side doing a good job at keeping Raghna at bay. A lot going on. Unfortunately, Chisato's base goes up in smoke, nothing able to stop it. Delta's not able to react quick enough. And there we go. He does manage to secure a little bit of eco left. DaCat losing his main metal point with a sumo pushing in. That will get mopped up relatively quickly, but will do a bunch of damage. Oh, but here comes a single atomic bomber. Where is it going? Oh, the flak doing a good job at taking care of all those fighters. Trying to focus on Raghna, but this is your eco guy at the back here. Should have probably got rid of him instead. Raghna's forces getting harassed by lightning tanks here, trying to get rid of those banishers. Which, to be fair, doing a fairly decent job. Got 2 of them, 3 of them, actually. God's doing a great job harassing. Raghna's making more progress on his side at the bottom than our Andy is on the north side. Not looking good for the right team. They need to step up their game and get moving. Do see a Basilisk being built by Riseheaven in the middle here. A bit of an interesting placement considering it's so low down. I'm not sure what damage it's actually going to be able to hit from there. What is its range though? No, it's not going to last much longer anyway. I mean, you could have built it up on here, surely that would have been a better position for it. Attack nukes going off. They are not going to hit those Razorbacks, and that Basilisk is not going to get built anyway. Has 4 Razorbacks in the middle. Trying to push back the forces of Raging Kittens, Z and Riseheaven. We see a D-gun get 2 for 1 here. Nice D-gun from Riseheaven. We'll probably lose his comm for that. Actually manages to cloak up and get away. This is, well, we actually see that Chisato gave what was left of his base to Raghna. And meanwhile, we see Lostdeadman has done a great job at providing support for FrogSkull here, managing to defend. And the Razorbacks here get yet another good job at getting a commander. Razorbacks being used very effectively. EMP bombers though doing a great job at countering them. Meanwhile, Raghna stacking banishers. Any heavy units that come towards him get absolutely obliterated. The only issue you kind of have though is the sheer amount of overkill going on right now. Like 1 rocket there took out that lace tower quite efficiently, and it fired 2. Good splash damage on them though. And we actually see the right side now having to fall back. There's not much here to really stop this banisher push. Kind of need those electric bombers to come back, EMP bombers. This push was a bit too soon. EMP bombers are on their way now. Does have some flak up though, Raghna. And the fighters are actually there as well from Firmament. Doing a good job at shooting down those EMP bombers. Unfortunately, Ro wasn't prepared. Didn't have his own fighters there to stop that. And now all the EMP bombers are dead. He's also sent a bunch of T1 bombers to the north. Trying to protect our Andy here. As we've got some Razorbacks pushing in. Self-D on one of the Razorbacks. Doesn't go off in time. Marauders. Going to lose in a 1v1 to Razorback. Never been a fan of Marauders. Unless there's water on the map. I just feel like they don't do much at all. Nice Razorback push again in the middle. Delta's really pulling his weight now. It shows what a good eco player can do once you've gotten up to speed a bit. Massive amounts of overkill from these banishers right now. And this guy's getting so close. EMP bombers getting a good run on these banishers. At least half of them are now indisposed. But this big push coming in. Red Panda's not going to last for much longer. Now, surely if you had like a tick spam or something like that to get in here, you'd need a lot of ticks though. Bear in mind with the grunt shield here. But that could get the banishers to shoot each other. But fortunately, I don't see much stopping this wave of missile spam. And everything is just getting obliterated by these marauders. Not marauders. Razorbacks and banishers, rather. EMP bombers doing a very good job. One thing I will say, Ro's micro on these Stiletto EMP bombers is very nice. It's a shame that he's not able to micro support very well for his fighters, because he keeps losing them straight away. Firmament doing a great job with this little fighter group here, managing to keep them alive quite well. Unfortunately as well, again, we see Lostdeadman here with some Razorbacks. Going to be killing Raging Kittens, Tech 2 Lab, and that is gone up in smoke as well. And unfortunately, this is not looking good for the blue team. Raging Kittens out of Tech 2 Factory. Tech 2 Factory about to go up here from Riseheaven. Up in smoke, that is. Yeah. The whole south side is basically dead. As you're trying to hold on as much as it can, but it's not going to be able to do much. nertc actually did try and rebuild, so fair play to you for rebuilding and trying to get back in the game. Most people just resigned, so very good on you for sticking it out and trying to do what you can to get back into the game. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work for you. Raghna's Banishers here actually doing an amazing job just forcing the back. The amount of damage that they put out, and they also shoot air as well. But their long reload time is a bit of a problem here. You need something to kind of take the shots first. But yeah, here's more Marauders coming in, trying to clear up some of the stuff. There's a lot of Marauders here, but again, I think if they come up against those Banishers, just going to instantly get taken out. Meanwhile, at the north side here, we see a wall of Zeus's, sorry, Welders, as they're called now. Vanguards, some Razorbacks, just slowly pushing in. FrogSkull and Lostdeadman on the north side. Just trying to stem the tide of basic T1 units coming from our Andy. He's just trying to overwhelm the units that are there and the artillery. Trying to hope his mammoths can get in and just do damage, which they are slowly doing, but not too much. It's not turning the tide quick enough when you see this on the south side, this onslaught. And some Banishers do go down here. Banishers do so much friendly fire. If you can get one tank like in here, then they're just going to all shoot each other. Unfortunately, Azure misses an opportunity there to probably take out about 5 or 6 of those Banishers. And again, maybe Ro has an opportunity here. Yeah, see, get right in there. Oh, the self-destruct. It's not a bad play. But yeah, unfortunately, doesn't pan out, and a resign vote goes up for the blue team by Z. He's doing a fairly good job. He's got a bunch of Razorbacks out, but he's right at this point here. Their team is so far behind. They only have one commander left, and Raging Kittens commander is the only commander left. There is no air force that can actually attack him yet, but there's nothing nearby. Randy's trying to get some tech free up and running. He is actually forcing this back, his top line back, but kind of playing their own game right now. But the bottom side here is just basically getting mocked up at this time. Raging Kittens has no units whatsoever. Should probably stop building this advanced fusion at this point, unless he's already given up. Because that ain't getting built before the end of the game. You have no units to defend. And we're about to see a nice boom here as this Riseheaven advanced fusion reactor goes up. Technically it's Z's now, so Z gets the loss damage. Oh, that Razorback's a bit close. Oh, it actually survives. With 100 health, it survives. Damn. Raghna here actually moved away from vehicles in the end, it seems, and just gone pure grunt swarm. which is doing its job. His commander is very far forward. There is so much reclaim on the map. 30k metal in the middle. 6.4 on this south side. And Raghna's comm is going to be... actually not. Raghna's comm doing a great amount of D-gunning here. This is what you get from a pro-level player here. Able to do great D-gunning. Doesn't... well, misses only one D-gun. Unit after unit going up in smoke from the D-gun. Does still take a lot of damage, obviously, as the flames of the fiends. Oh, misses two there, and here he goes. But at this point, he's happy with that because they've won. There's no coming back. He says, as our Andy doing a great job at pushing this north side. Lostdeadman, no, not able to push out at all. 14k metal on this north side. Who knows? Maybe how to turn it around, but with the whole bottom side of the map completely gone for the blue team, only 2 players really left alive. Raging Kittens not really adding much to this fight right now. It's just purely Riseheaven and our Andy. And if Raging Kittens comm goes up in smoke, that's it. Air has now also been lost. And here come the strap bombers. Goodbye, Raging Kittens. Oh, they weren't actually aimed at Raging Kittens, but this will deal with it. Well played, both teams. Nice to see some Cortex vehicle usage for a change. Don't get to see them very often. And very close on the north side, and but Raghna and Deltars on the bottom side just did a very good job. Deltars well played there for helping Raghna out in his time of need. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time.